Whilst every reasonable effort has been made to ensure that the content in this video is safe, because I am not in the room with you, the responsibility for participating in any exercise or individual activity rests with you. If at any time during this video you feel any unusual pain or discomfort, you should stop exercising immediately. Hello and welcome to this video about ANJANEYASANA, the Crescent Moon Pose, also sometimes referred to as the equestrian pose or the rider. This is a really lovely posture in which we feel an energy connection all through the whole body from top to toe essentially, and this energy connection is very much in connection with our breathing. As we breathe in and as we breathe out, we feel this whole body energy reverberating within the asana. And so sometimes I think, especially when we're first working with ANJANEYASANA, we feel it's a very, very strenuous posture. It demands a lot of us, it takes away a lot of energy. Afterwards though, there's a kind of a light within the body, the energy within the body is almost glowing. So it's a really powerful posture and practice. And I think it's either as the Crescent Moon Pose, connecting us with the great power of universal energy, the passage of the moon through the sky, the pull and the draw that energy exerts on the earth, the tidal energies, and etc. Or as the rider, it's very much about our connection as well to the earth, and the sense of being connected with other creatures, the sense of being a creature together with other creatures on the earth. Both of which symbolisms and concepts are extremely powerful, I think. This video is accessible to beginners, although I would say that as we move into the more advanced versions of ANJANEYASANA towards the end of the video, I would advise people to take time to get strong in the less advanced versions of the posture before moving on to the more advanced versions, because whilst flexibility is involved in the more advanced versions, also so is strength. And ANJANEYASANA is again one of these yoga asana in which the balance between strength and openness, softness, suppleness is really a requirement in order to practice it safely. There's no point in getting a groin strain because you had the flexibility to get into a particular posture but not the strength to sustain that structure around the joints with your muscles. So, you know, as always, think it through, listen to your own body, and yoga's not a practice to go, it's a practice, it's a relationship that we build and cultivate. And so, you know, give it time to settle into your body. If you feel ready to head into the more advanced versions of ANJANEYASANA, by all means, of course, do. So we're going to come through and have a look first of all at the cat stretch to start to mobilize the spine and prepare the body for stronger practices. So let's first of all just reach the sitting bones back as far behind us as we can, and at the same time lengthening our spine forwards from the tailbone into the crown. And then once you feel that you've got a little bit of space going through the spine, bringing yourself forwards towards the all fours. In the all fours, it's just more or less 2 fist distance or 1.5 fist distance between the knees. Lots of length between the tailbone and the crown, knees underneath the hip joints and wrists underneath the shoulder joints. Yes, let's use the bandha to help us flow into the Majjarayasana cat stretch. So that powerful lift in the muscles just directly in front of the tailbone to begin to move the tailbone down, but to lift the lower abdomen up. Hollowing powerfully in the lower abdomen, navel pulls up towards the spine and then sucks up towards the diaphragm, really rounding and rolling into this position. Let's breathe in here, let the breath dive back into the depth of the back of the chest, and then once again, as you're ready, on the inhalation, just as quickly as you can, begin to move your tailbone back and the rest of your spine forwards and outwards away from your tailbone. If you can keep your collarbones open here, shoulder blades wide and moving down the back, it will help you to really release into your upward facing cat. So once again, exhalation to lift up in the muscles directly in front of the tailbone, hollowing in the lower abdomen, letting the navel pull to the spine, sides of the waist can gather in and up, hook the navel up towards your diaphragm, breathing in here, breath moves back, and then once again, as you're ready, unfurling through the spine, let it lengthen, keep support in the midsection going to keep the lumbar spine lifted, and releasing your thoracic spine upwards and forwards, inhaling. So from here, rolling it through and breathing in, unrolling, coming back long spine, breathing in, upward facing, breathing out, reversing that roll, all the way through, breathing in, and once again rolling through, inhaling, upward facing cat. We're going to release there, send the hips back and towards the heels. From the cat stretch, we're going to flow into the apana breath movement, and that begins here in the child. And then gradually, with the bandha working the way they were just working in the last practice, so those powerful lifts at the base of the spine, lower abdomen and through the midsection, we're going to roll up through the spine into the knee stand. And then within the knee stand, just breathing out to bring the arms back towards the sides. And then once again, as you're ready, breathing in to feel your whole spine lifting. And with your exhalation, rolling back down again. So the same strength as we were using in the cat stretch to round the spine. And you need it here to support your spine in this movement. Exhaling all the way back through to the mat. Here, a round of the breath, breathing in and breathing out. And then once again, as you're ready, just breathing in, tailbone dives downwards, rolling up through your spine segment by segment, all the way through. Inhalation. And then exhalation, letting the arms come back down. So once again, your inhalation, powerful lifts, base of the spine, lower abdomen midsection, and on the exhalation again, rolling downwards and forwards. So really controlling that movement, letting your arms sweep around and behind you. Now ideally, coming down to some support through the forehead, arriving at the mat. If you're not supple enough to reach the floor, just allow your fists to stack in underneath your forehead. Or you could always put a yoga block or a book, a thick book or two books underneath the forehead here to give you support. So then again, as you're ready, an inhalation to roll up through your spine, aiming to feel it rebuild segment by segment, using your inhalation to create space in your chest, between your ribs and through your spine. Exhalation to bring the arms down. So once again, creating space with the breath. And then as you breathe out, resting around of the breath here with support for the head if you need it. And then once again, ideally your inhalation just begins to flow a little bit, and you follow through with the rolling up through your spine. Let's roll it through one more cycle. A round of the breath to relax, and then as you're ready again, your inhalation flowing, body following. Exhalation flowing, body following. Once again, just let your inhalation begin, body follows. And once again, rolling down, flowing the spine back towards the child, and this time really relaxing, letting go. So just checking in that you have got that support beneath the forehead and that your spine can properly relax here after the hard work of the apana breath, and always just popping the fists in underneath the forehead if that feels better. So a couple of breaths more in the child, just allowing the body to really relax, to let go again after the apana breath. And then as you're ready, from the child, we're going to think in terms of lengthening ourselves out along the mat. So I'm just going to come right through and onto the abdomen. Once again, engaging the bandha will be helpful as we come onto the floor. We're going to work a version of Bhujangasana down here. And this is a version where we're aiming to interlace the fingers and bring the wrists towards each other. And keeping the lift in the muscles in front of the tailbone, lower abdomen lifted, navel pulling to the spine. And then there's a counter stretch back into the elbows and the knuckles as the spine moves forwards. However, you're lifting from your back strength, just a little bit of a counter stretch behind helping you in. The arms aren't lifting you, in other words. So breathing here, 2 or 3 breaths, try to keep your breath in your chest. And then once again, rolling back down from there. Just allowing the arms to relax to either side of the body. And letting the exhalation lengthen. If it feels more comfortable, just turning the head on its side. And then after a moment or two, as you feel ready, let's again engage the bandha and just lengthen the legs back behind us, tucking the tailbone under and anchoring the pubic bone towards the mat. And just trying to flow up using your breath mainly. So inhalation to lift each time, exhalation to really engage the bandha and the abdominal strength and reach forwards a little. So raise cobra, bringing the arms forwards. And then again, as you're ready, releasing back down and just having a rest. Heels can roll outwards. If you turned the head in one direction last time, always let it go the opposite direction this time, or just keep it centered. And then gradually, as you're feeling ready, we're going to let the legs align again behind us. Bring the hands in underneath the shoulder joints, pressing up and towards the all fours. And let's give the lower back a good stretch, coming up into Adho Mukha Svanasana. So hands spread and open, middle fingers aligning with one another, index fingers and the thumbs down quite firmly, collarbones opening, powerful lift in the lower abdomen, stretching back. Mainly back, thighs and abdomen come together, inside arms lengthen downwards towards the thumbs and the index fingers. Keep lifting lots of strength up through the outsides of the arms, shoulder blades moving up your back behind you and lengthening through between the shoulders and the sitting bones. Powerful lift in the lower abdomen, breathing here, breathing. Allowing the spine to receive the actions of the arms and the legs. It's really lengthening through its own weight into the weight of the head. And then gently, as you're ready, aiming to keep your spine as long as possible, letting your feet walk up and towards your hands. And keeping again those powerful lifts in the lower abdomen especially. Lower abdomen lifting up nice and strongly, navel pulling to the spine. Just pivoting the pelvis on the tops of the thigh bones. Opening forwards over the thighs towards the crown of the head. Shoulder blades wide and lifting up the back behind you. So sometimes when we're here, we might get hold of our legs. Now from the Uttanasana, forward bend, we're going to try to come up into Utkatasana. So you need quite a powerful lift through your abdominal muscles. Let your spine lengthen out, bringing it parallel to the floor. So you might be holding onto the thigh muscles. So you might have been in a shorter lengthened position there. You let the knees bend and bring your back parallel to the floor. In any case, to get into Utkatasana, we need to bend the knees and then gradually hinging our trunk away from the legs. If you feel strong enough here for the lower back, adding in the arms, Utkatasana. And then from there, pulling on up to standing and releasing back down. So once again, let's breathe in to lift tall. Let's breathe out, pass through to Namaste, keeping our spine tall, lengthening spine upwards and forwards as we let the knees bend. Breathing in here, exhaling, tipping forwards. So you pass through this half Uttanasana. Hands can be on the thighs or on the floor. Once again, you're trying to open the line of the spine, downwards and forwards from the tailbone towards the crown of the head. Knees might need to stay bent in order for you to feel the spine really opening through the front of the spine. And this opening through the front of the spine, as I explain in the video on Uttanasana itself, is what really helps you to get long in these positions. So let's practice Utkatasana again. So from our position here, knees likely need to bend, and we bring the spine parallel to the floor. You might be able to get there with your legs extended. But however, in any case, we need to bend the knees for Utkatasana. From here, if you're really strong, you can hinge on up, shoulder blades move down the back. But again, as we did on the first one, you can bring the hands onto the thighs, let your upper back lift, and then just check that you've got enough strength in the lower back to add in the weight of your arms. Just check where you need to be for that strength to be working. And releasing. Good. So let's from here just flow up, pass back down Utkatasana, breathing in, breathing out to roll through Uttanasana. From the Uttanasana, just coming back into Adho Mukha Svanasana. And from there, let's bring ourselves back through to the mat. And we're going to flow onto our backs a little bit to open up the fronts of the hips now, ahead of practicing the ANJANEYASANA. So being here, let's begin in version of Vatnyasana, letting your left leg extend right away from you. And again, the most effective opening and lengthening will be when the leg is directly in line with the hip joint and you've got a line crown, sacrum, tailbone, inside hip, inside knee, heel. And we need to, as we're trying to open the front of the hip, we need to bear in mind that some of the muscles that will be causing the leg to lift up, possibly being here, are attached to the front of our spine. So as we breathe out, we need to really relax deep into the abdomen, right back into the muscles on the front of the spine, right back into muscles in the depth of the back of our pelvis, and then into the muscles around the inside of the hip joint and over the front of the hip joint. And personally, I like this Vatnyasana aspect of opening the hips here, where on my exhalation, I let the abdomen sink, I let my back relax, I hug my raised leg in towards me as I keep letting go into that left hip. And what does tend to happen is that the leg comes, upper leg comes forward and the lower leg lifts, but this is really defeating the purpose of what we're looking for here. It's trying to keep this leg, keep your spine relaxing, trying to feel an active release and lengthening over the front of the spine and the inside of your hip joint, inside of your knee, heel, and then releasing again. Like that. So this is the first part of what we're trying to do here. And then as you feel ready, we're going to think about stretching this leg up. So now again, as this leg stretches up, the lower leg tends to lift away from the floor. So having just spoiled it, we'll come back again now. And then lengthening up. So I have to concentrate quite hard if from this position I'm now going to open my hamstring, because the hip flexor opening in the lower leg does actually inhibit the ability to open the hamstring on the other side. You know, it's a stronger stretch to stretch your hamstrings and your hip flexor, but it's stronger in combination. It's not necessarily a stronger hamstring stretch, it just makes it harder. But in the Anjaneyasana, we don't need to open a hamstring. What we need is an open hip joint and a little bit of space through the front thigh and hip joint. So it doesn't matter here if this leg's not super stretched. It can be a little bit stretched. So again, if you can, opening space in your nostrils, at the back of your mouth, through your throat, into the chest, into the heart center. And as you breathe out, relaxing your spine, relaxing your abdomen, relaxing into that lower leg. And then you might just gradually be feeling, you might feel that you're happy to hold on to the leg by the toes, and you might be here. I mean, you may get more space as well. You know, if you do, you do. But it's this really opening, that's our main key at the moment. And then let's relax that leg down, sliding it away, just thinking about the positioning, the inside of the leg following the line of the spine, and bringing your other leg up. And once again, just breathing in here and breathing out to sink the thigh towards us. Breathing in to release. And again, breathing out, abdomen sinks, spine relaxes, letting go into that other thigh and hip joint. Always helpful as well in these positions where we're trying to open, to remember to keep our neck relaxed, the back of the shoulders relaxed, just sinking the arms down into the shoulder joints, into the shoulder blades, keeping your tailbone anchored to the floor. And then the last time. And then once again from this position, just checking in with how the hip is feeling, where it's resting, position on the tailbone, and beginning then to open the other leg. So as I said on the first side, the key is to really think about the position on the lower leg. So breathing lots of space into the nostrils, throat, across the upper chest, behind your collarbones, back to your shoulder blades, opening out away from the heart center into the sides of the chest, down into the floating ribs. Again, on the exhalation, letting go through your spine, right through into that lower leg. So again, you've been here for a few moments, you might be coming through to a slightly stronger position. I mean, you may get the leg to extend, but it's much, much harder with the lower leg already extended fully. Good. Yeah. And then once again, it's really just folding with an exhalation, that one in and down, sending the legs away. So here we roll the legs inwards and outwards 2 or 3 times, just releasing. And then we're going to bring ourselves through, ready to practice our apex posture, the ANJANEYASANA. And to do that, we're going to bring ourselves back into the knee stand. And we can always just practice again, stretching up to feel that strength around the spine in the knee stand position. And then it's just going to be an inhalation and exhalation to have our right foot land on the floor in front of us, ideally with a right angle at the back of the knee joint. So it's breathing in and breathing out, so we're here. And then just need to a little bit adjust the pelvis to get it to square in. So you need to bring this left hip a little bit forward, lengthen back a little bit into your left thigh, forward a little bit into your front thigh. Just checking this front foot, center of the heel, ball of the foot in contact with the mat. Lots of space and openness over this back hip. Checking in again with your bandha, the deep lift in the muscles just in front of the tailbone, lower abdomen engaged, navel pulling to the spine. Spine really tall. And then from here, let's just add the arms in with an inhalation and an exhalation. If you feel strong enough, releasing on the other side, inhalation and an exhalation. So now breathing here. And this is the opportunity to feel that energy from the crown of the head right down through the heart space, the heart center regions in the chest, through your spine, traveling into your back hip and back leg. Breathing in energy everywhere, breathing out, and again, just feeling your strength connecting everywhere. So, let's work one last breath here. And breathing out. And we pull the weight back, breathing in, and breathing out back to our knee stand. So once again, as you're ready, breathing in nice and tall, breathing in, and breathing out to bring your foot through. That's it. So as we're here, just checking in again with squaring this time our right hip a little bit forward. A little bit of space there between the back hip and the back knee, and between the front hip and the front knee. That's it. If your back knee is uncomfortable, you can always put padding underneath a folded towel or folded blanket. And once again, just thinking about our spine being as tall as possible. The position on the front foot and knee so that your heel is underneath your ankle, whole foot down, heel down, ball of the foot, pad of your little toe. Sometimes just a little bit when you engage the arch, if you're sort of pulling the toe joints back towards your heel, that will give you a little bit more strength there. So if you feel strong enough, breathing in, breathing out to raise one arm. And again, if you feel strong enough, breathing in, breathing out to raise your other arm. Just breathing here. So once again, this energy connection. You might feel the energy very strong here at the heart center. But the whole body, you feel it energizing, the whole body working. And then this extra prana energy, the life energy that yoga works with, surging through the body. And once again, as you're ready, last breath. And we breathe out to pass the hands back again. We're bringing the weight back, breathing in and breathing out. So from here, we might be ready just to release our body down and into the child again. Just spending a few moments to be aware of the energy here. The energy that rises and lifts behind the forehead. And the energy that rises and lifts behind the breastbone in the heart center. And then gradually, again, as you feel ready, I'm just going to breathe in and roll up away from the child's pose, passing through kneeling and back into the knee stand. And then this next version of ANJANEYASANA is a little bit stronger than the last one. It begins with the first part, really, but then we're advancing it. So just check in, as I said at the beginning of the video, on whether or not you feel ready for that slightly stronger version of the posture. So here we are in the knee stand again, and it's the inhalation, exhalation. We're going to take our right leg forward. So there we are. So this is, as I said, back to where we were. And then you're just lengthening this front thigh a little bit forward, releasing your back thigh a little bit, and you could from here bring your arms up. But however, if we're going to work the stronger version, the upper body is going to come down with the hands coming towards the floor and the trunk, the line of your spine coming along the line of the inside of your front thigh. But just check before you bring too much weight forward that again your knee is above your ankle. And think about the foot strength in this front foot, center of the heel down, ball of the foot, and here at the base of the big toe joints, pulling back so your arch lifts, and you should feel your inside leg work a little bit harder when that happens. So the hands can come through to the floor. However, when we get up into the posture when the arms are raised, the pushing into the floor will not have been of any help to us through the hands. So we've got some stabilization rather than strength coming from the arms here. And we need to, as we tuck the back toes under, lift our pelvis with the deep muscles in front of the tailbone and in the lower abdomen, and our waist muscles already working, and pressing back into that back heel. So as you press back, try not to lift up, but just mainly press back. Keep your abdominal muscles nice and strong, rolling up through your spine, and let your hands come to rest on your front thigh. So again, squaring your pelvis. Right hip moves back, left hip moves forward. If you feel strong enough, inhalation to raise this left arm, exhalation to stabilize, inhalation on your other side, exhalation to stabilize. So now breathing here. Once again, this energy connection all through your body. Keep checking in with your back knee and thigh. Pull up in that back knee to keep the knee supported. Feel the energy at the heart center. Be aware of the energy again behind the forehead. Last breath here. And again, exhalation. So we bring that back knee through to the floor and press back. Oops, should have released the toes a little bit. Breathing in and breathing out back to the knee stand. Good. So as you can probably tell, it's a lot stronger when we bring that back knee away. And you may feel lots of energy now just flooding through the body, and especially in and around the heart center. So whilst the body needs to be very strong in the ANJANEYASANA, as with the Virabhadrasana 1, the Warrior 1 pose, actually in and around your heart center and through into the higher energy centers of the throat and the forehead, the body needs to be in a sense at ease so you can really feel that energy. And then after the practice, it's quite strongly there. So now let's have a look at the other side. So we're breathing in and breathing out to step our left leg forward. So, and you've got that movement just coming right through. So double checking on your ankle and knee alignment on the front leg, and just thinking again about your hips being aligned and squared and your spine nice and tall. So as on the first side, we let the upper body come forward, spine following the line of the inside of your front thigh, front foot nice and strong, just using the arms for stabilization here, and lifting your pelvis, supporting your waist with your waist muscles and core muscles, lifting your pelvis with the muscles in the lower abdomen and in front of your tailbone, reaching into the back leg and pulling up through the kneecap and thigh on that side. Abdominal muscles strong to breathe up, to roll up through your spine. And then again, just squaring your hips here. Now if you feel strong enough, an inhalation and an exhalation to bring your right arm up. And then as you're ready, an inhalation and an exhalation to bring your left arm up. So your back muscles working, trunk muscles working, breathing here. Energy at the heart center. Quiet energy, lifting and rising from the heart center into the forehead, into the crown of the head. Rest of the body working hard. Breathing in, energy connection everywhere. Breathing out, connecting. Yeah. So a last breath here. And an exhalation to release that back down. So releasing your toes, pressing back, breathing in and breathing out to bring that leg through. And let's relax again in the child. Just having a breather here. Once again, seeing if you can observe the energy that lifts and rises behind the forehead. And seeing if you can feel the energy that lifts and rises through the heart center region. And then once again, you're just going to think about rolling up through the spine, passing through kneeling. So there's one third version of ANJANEYASANA that we can work with, or a third way of coming in that we can work with. So we'll end up in the same position as we were in the last practice, but it's a more dynamic route where we stride through from downward facing dog and arrive in the Crescent Moon Pose. I would really say, if you're not used to the Crescent Moon Pose, not to try it the first time that you're practicing this version from the downward dog, I mean. If you're not used to dynamic yoga either, I think possibly not practicing this for the first time of watching the video. But if you feel ready, then let's give it a go to look at the progression. Watch first if you've never really done the stride in position before. So we need all of the structuring that we've been working with in the trunk and in the upper body. First of all in the downward dog, and essentially we'll carry it through into the ANJANEYASANA. So the hands spread and open. As you breathe in to come forward to your all fours, see if you can feel most of the strength bringing you into your all fours position, coming from the lift in the lower abdominal muscles. Collarbones nice and open, shoulder blades wide, and moving down the back, toes tuck under. Hovering, exhalation, stretching right back, lengthening through, unfurling through your spine, using your abdominal muscles to help you there, and then sinking your heels as you lift up powerfully in your abdominal muscles. So feeling that the space between the front of your trunk, between your chest and your thighs, between your abdomen and your thighs, that your upper back is strong. And then from here, you're just going to breathe in, breathe out, and step our right leg through to between the hands. So as we've stepped forward, you can see we're in this long stride position where we were in the last practice of ANJANEYASANA, just checking in with your front foot that it's strong and that the knee is above the hip joint. If you've come through with the strength of the downward dog, your abdominal muscles will already be working. Breathing out to roll up through your spine, and then from here, raising your arms in, just squaring your hips. So breathing, really feel the energy of the breath in the heart center, in and around the chest space. And again, that sense of connecting your energy from top to toe. Just checking in with your back knee joint that it's supported. And again, let's work a last round of the breath here. So now, ready with the spine, let it roll forwards. It should follow the line of the inside of your front thigh. Let your head relax to the inside of that front knee. Hands now do take up lots of strength, pressing them into the floor. Step back, thighs and abdomen come together. Shoulder blades are wide and they lift up your back. Unfurl through your spine and let the weight open through your spine, tailbone to crown. So once again, feel the space open up between your chest and your thighs, between your abdomen and your thighs. Upper back nice and strong. Hands down firmly, breathing. Knowing where your spine is. So as we're ready, we're going to more or less keep our back leg where it is. Keep the tailbone and your back heel, your tailbone and your right heel tracking one another as you breathe in and step your left leg forward. Ideally, the inside of this leg is still following the spine. So inside of the front leg, line of the spine. Inside of the back leg, line of the spine moving into it. So again, the weight doesn't go into the arms again after you've stridden in. Rolling up through your spine, out breath. Back muscles strong, we can breathe in and breathe out to be here, squaring the pelvis, pulling up through your back, kneecap and thigh. Breathing here, both thigh bones lengthening in opposite directions. Let there be space across the heart center, through the rim of the chest. Space behind the forehead. Seeing if you can again feel that whole body energy connection light up as you breathe in. And connect with strength as you breathe out. Good. Last breath. We're going to breathe out, pass the hands through the heart center, flow the spine forward, line of the spine follows the front thigh, head comes to the inside of that front knee. Breathing in, breathing out, unfurl through your spine, really lift the spine back, sink the leg down. Just adjust your hands so that you can really stretch back, open your shoulder joints, let your spine release and lengthen here in your downward facing dog. Just allow the spine as it really opens now to absorb the energy of the last practice. Breathing, keep your breath flowing. And then gradually, as you're ready, let's soften down into the child's pose for a last time. Just relaxing and letting go. And then gently, gradually, as you're ready, breathing in to roll up through the spine. And we're just going to bring ourselves through towards seated and spending a few moments just in quiet reflection and energy here at the end of the posture practice. If the cross-legged isn't comfortable, just perhaps come into Baddha Konasana or let your legs lengthen forwards and a little bit wide. Hands can rest on the knees or in the prayer pose or wherever feels comfortable. You can take up a mudra or you can just let your hands rest open in a receptive way. Think about finding the line of the spine, just releasing up through the spine from the tailbone to the crown. And it might be that you can feel quite a lot of energy in the spine at the moment. I think quite likely you will feel quite a lot of energy in and around the chest space, the heart center. Imagining on our inhalations, let's say, that we're able to receive the breath into the room of the chest, the space within the chest. And as you're breathing out, just imagining that the breath can leave from through the forehead. And if possible, although we have these focus points for breathing in and breathing out, having a sense that the whole of the body is joining in the energy of the breath as it travels in at the heart center. And again, that the whole of the body is receiving the quality of the energy left behind the breath as it travels out through the forehead, from behind the forehead. And then allowing the breath to flow with this visualization through this round of the breath that you're currently on. And then gradually thinking about reversing so that you're visualizing the breath coming in through the forehead. And that now you're breathing out through the heart center, through the heart space. So just here, center behind the breastbone. Just following the breath through a last slow full round of the breath here in this practice. And once again allowing the consciousness to open out really fully all throughout that length and breadth and depth of space that is the physical body. Spending a moment to be really connected with the energy and the quality of the energy within the body at present. any sense of light that there might be, any sense of renewal that there might be. Spending a moment to observe the energy behind the forehead at present. Within the mind at present. And again, any sense of clarity that there might be, any light, any sense of renewal, any openness, any freedom. Acknowledging the being that lights the body and lights the mind. Om Shanti Namaste. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you've enjoyed this practice of ANJANEYASANA. It's just a little bit before we close the video, just stretch and bring movement back into the body. Just check that you're fully grounded within the physical body here at the end of the practice, and the relaxation or the sensations over the surface of the body where it begins and ends, and the clothing that rests on the skin and the air around the skin. Just adjusting your breath back towards a length and a speed that's suited to movement and activity, and bringing movement into the fingers and into the toes and into the feet and into the hands, the arms and the legs. 2 or 3 stretches there, and releasing, just reawakening the spine, really moving the breath. And the last one. Very well done. Thank you for watching, and hope to see you again soon on the 30-day Yoga Asana Challenge.